And now, lend us your ears for an update from Nebraska Corn.
On this week's program, we are going to talk a little bit about the most recent CornsTalk newsletter that went out to folks across the state of Nebraska. Here to tell us about it is Debbie Borg, a producer from Northeast Nebraska, and she serves on the Nebraska Corn Board. Debbie, this CornsTalk publication that goes out, what's the purpose of doing it every quarter?
Well, thanks, Chad. That's a great question because several years ago, this CornsTalk was more focused direct to farmers. And over the last few years, as the growing interest in consumers wanting to know more about where their food comes from, we shifted it to be a consumer-focused publication. And so it's going in every newspaper across the state to help them get a little insight into where their food comes from.
And Debbie, I would imagine the events over the last 6 months or so, really has highlighted the need to do something like that, huh?
Well, it just reinforces the need. The need has been there, I think, but it reinforces it because, I've seen from a few, distant friends who were concerned because the shelves were empty. And I have to tell you, when I walked in the store and saw the shelves empty, it did kind of make me concerned. But I knew that we really weren't out of food. It was the supply chain that got disrupted through this whole pandemic.
Summarize, what are some of those things that are in the most recent CornsTalk?
There's a couple different stories. There is an article about brothers who are selling beef from their farm. We also talk about a corn grower board member who raises white corn. And I don't know that people know that Nebraska is the number one grower of white corn. And so there's a Frito-Lay plant in Gothenburg. And so there's a whole lot of Doritos made out of the corn that grows right here in Nebraska. And I talked about that I don't do anything farm to fork per se, but I'm growing for the big grocery stores. And we're all family farmers, and we're filling different needs. And that's what people need to understand is that it's family farmers growing the products that end up in the grocery stores.
Now, we talked about this newsletter, like you said, that goes out in papers all across the state of Nebraska. But you were telling me, Debbie, there is a digital component to this as well?
There is, and quite a bit of it, you'll see it on Facebook also. So we encourage farmers who have family in the big cities to share it on their Facebook page so that it does reach more of the consumers who don't understand. It's just another way that the Corn Board is fulfilling the pillar of education. We're providing different educational resources for not only farmers to use, but that go direct to consumers.
Thank you so much for the insight into the most recent CornsTalk newsletter. That's Debbie Borg from Northeast Nebraska, again, a director on the Nebraska Corn Board. And that's this week's report. Chad Moyer reporting.
This message was brought to you by Nebraska Corn, enhancing demand, adding value, and ensuring sustainability. Learn more at nebraskacorn.org.